Great. Is Pastor McNary joining us? Has he joined?
I
If
don't see him.
I don't either, you want to go ahead and open us with prayer, Donald?
Sure. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight. Heavenly Father, as we begin our meeting, we ask you to clear our minds and hearts and allow us to be willing to listen, to hear, to understand, and to speak freely. Heavenly Father, as we go forward, protect us. For those who are not here, allow them safe passage, Heavenly Father, so that they may join us as soon as they can. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. Is Chief Jones or Chief Meadows or anyone from the fire police on? All righty, we will move
Yes,
forward.
ma'am. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am. This I couldn't get to my speak button. This is Assistant Chief. This is Assistant Chief Washington over Special Operations. So I'm standing in for the fire department this evening.
oh, wonderful. Well, welcome. Where you
Thank you.
are up.
I'm up.
Yep.
Okay. First of all, I just want to. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask? I just open up the floor right away.
What has there been? Has there been any problems in the city? Anything happening unusual in the city?
No, ma'am. Actually, I don't know if y'all know, but we just hired a new deputy chief. He's been here 90 days. He's done his assessment and he's actually met with all the assistant chiefs, all the battalion chiefs, and he's met with everybody in the department over these last 3 days, captains on down. So, he's here. We're good, but he's here to help make us better. He's setting a standard. So we got some initiatives in place regarding training, regarding EMS. We're going to have a new EMS division regarding the apparatus that we're riding on. We got an initiative that we're going to standardize all the equipment on the apparatus as well as the equipment. We also have 30 new recruits that started training a few weeks ago. So we're excited about that. They will be going through fire school as well as EMT school. We've recently received 3 new command vehicles. We have a battalion 1 has a new vehicle, battalion 2 has a new vehicle, and we have a new district vehicle as well. I'm trying to think, what else do we have going on? That's it for now. We're about 60 days out from hydrant inspections. I actually spoke with our new deputy chief today. I told him I'm getting ready to put together a memo regarding hydrant inspections. So that'll be starting in April 1st. So we inspect hydrants for 45 days. So that'll be starting soon. So I know I get the emails from citizens regarding if they see a hydrant that's inoperable or it's off the stem. I really appreciate it because our crews aren't out there every day. So when you do see something, most definitely email Chief Chad or myself, and we'll get right on top of it because I'm actually over the hydrant management program as well. So I really appreciate when citizens, they see things and they act on them and they send it over to Chief Jones. What else do we have going? That's about it right now. Does anybody have any questions about what I've said?
Does anybody have any questions for the fire department?
Any concerns? Okay, I guess we're doing good then.
Yeah,
If
it seems like it. Thank you so much. Thank you
if I
very
can
much.
if I can just chime in, I was trying to raise my hand, but didn't get called. I don't know how to do the electronic hand raising. Sorry. I want to thank the fire department. They came out to my property at Sandtown Crossing on Thanksgiving, 8 o'clock Thanksgiving. We had a drunk who drove his car into an island. The car exploded. They pulled him out in time and kept the
Great.
property from having any damage other than to the landscaping. So I was
Okay.
very great experience, and I appreciated everything they did for us.
Okay, and that's what we do. And if anybody in the community has any questions or any concerns about anything, please don't hesitate to contact us on Chief Jones or Chief Byrd about anything. Questions about your hydrants, just anything, any concerns that you have, please don't hesitate. And we'll try to get it, whatever it is, rectified as soon as possible.
Hey, Glenn.
Someone, I'm
Yes.
sorry, go ahead.
Hey, Glenn, this is Donald Barnes over in the Sandtown Center Communities.
Yes,
We
sir.
have a hydrant it's located on Bear Rock Drive.
Yep, crew went out there today. I actually went out there myself this morning to put eyes on it. It got knocked off its base. I sent the picture to my battalion chief. He had a crew come out there. They have sent up a repair request today.
Okay, so there's nothing else that we should do then?
That's it. Once Atlanta watershed, because actually the hydrants, they aren't City of South Fulton hydrants. They're actually City of Atlanta's hydrants. So we maintain the hydrants for them. So when a hydrant is inoperable or like that particular hydrant is off the base, what we have to do, we have to send a repair request to Atlanta Watershed. Once they receive it, they'll assign a repair request number to it, and then they have a crew come out. So it sometimes it may take a little longer than you think it should, but it's just a couple steps to get that repair request over to Atlanta. But recently, within the last year or so, they have been getting there. Whatever we've been sending them as far as requests for repair is concerned, they've been getting out pretty quick and addressing whatever issues those hydrants are having.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
There was
Yeah.
a compliment in the chat. Congratulations on the 30 recruits. Awesome job.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I interrupted someone. Was someone else talking?
No, I was just about to say I spoke to Miss Delphine this morning about that hydrant.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
Again, thank you so much for joining us and sharing all of the information. And we look forward to getting another update next month.
Okay. Appreciate
All
y'all
right.
having.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the police department on the line? Well, we will move forward. Ms. Warren, are you on the line?
I am. Good evening, everyone. I can't believe it is February already. Thank you guys for having me. And the school system, for those who don't know, my name is Francesca Warren. I'm your District 4 school board rep, represent Westlake, Langston, and Creekside High Schools. I'm going to start off with all of this is good news, but let's start off with the first thing that's happened. We just honored Coach Hankerson at Westlake High School. She's had over 700 wins for our girls basketball. So we're really excited about that. She's been coaching there for decades, and it's just good to see a woman coach surpass that. Right now at Sandtown Middle School, we have reopened. We've done some work on our facilities. We have resurfaced all of our tennis courts, doing some work with them, and we're also bringing back baseball at Sandtown Middle School. And so that is a big deal. As you know, while the park was being renovated, we haven't had baseball at the middle school in quite a while. So Sandtown is working with the FCCLA, which is the Federation of Christian Athletes, and they are bringing the baseball league back to Sandtown Middle School. So for a lot of our students age 11 through 13, this is really good because, as we know, that is a really interesting age, and we want to make sure to keep them engaged. We are in the midst of opening up pre-K for this upcoming year. And so we are starting today. We have started applications for pre-K. If you have a child, whether it's A. Phillip Randolph, whether it's Stonewall Tail, whether it's a little bit further, which would be Cliftondale for you guys, Hamilton E. Holmes, we have spaces open. So if you have a 4-year-old that I believe they have to be 4 by September 1st, I think it's September 1st. But if you have a 4-year-old and you want them to get into the school system early and to start learning, please apply for the space. It is based on lottery. I know right now A. Phillip Randolph's pre-K is full, but we would still love to have you. At Westlake High School, we really had a cool opportunity last week with the city of South Fulton. We honored Lawrence Butler, who's a 2018 Westlake graduate, and he plays for the Oakland A's. He's the first player out of Westlake High School to be drafted to the pros. We retired his jersey, and the city of South Fulton gave him a proclamation. Right now, the school system is in our budget process. Our budget process, we do zero-based budgeting, which means every year, every department has to look at their budget and they have to bring it to a zero and figure out what we need. We are in the process right now where schools are developing their budget. And it'll be an ongoing process until about June. So every month as I come back, I'll give you guys some updates. Right now, schools are looking at their forecasted enrollment for the upcoming year and using that forecasted enrollment to build their budgets around. Every cycle that we go through, we approve or unapprove different things. And so right now we're very early in the process. I wanted to give you guys an update. We've been talking about building, and we are in the middle of about 6 to 7 capital buildings. I'll start first, and this isn't the Sandtown community, but these are tax dollars, so they're important to know. We are in the process of rebuilding S.L. Lewis Elementary School, and it will be built on the same space. And so we are having public hearings starting next week because we are going to close S.L. Lewis while we build it. So those students we'll split the school into 2 halves. Half will go to Love T. Nolan, half will go to Bethune. And so we are having public hearings on that. We suspect that S.L. Lewis will be rebuilt in the next, be finished being rebuilt. They'll start this summer, but we're giving it about 1.5 year time frame. We also are in the planning process for Camp Creek Middle School, the rebuild that's happening there. Later this school year or through the summer, we will start to have some plans for you guys to see. That's going to be important to see what the build will look like. And so we're in the process of that. We also simultaneously are almost finished. I won't say almost finished, but very near finished for Conley Hills Elementary School that's being rebuilt. And also starting some of our planning around our K-8 STEM Academy, which will be down in Palmetto. And there's one more that I'm missing that I can't think of off the top of my head. The point that I want to make is that there's a lot of building that is happening. As we're looking in March next month, we will start to look at enrollment, our yearly updated enrollment. Every year, we have a department that does nothing but look at the permits that have been pulled for developments throughout all of our municipalities. And so based on those permits that are filled, that's how we do our enrollment projections for the upcoming year. And so in March, we will have our updated ones for 2024. We believe that the trend will continue, that South Fulton is growing at a faster rate than other parts of the county. And so as we do that, we are purposely looking at our strategy on acquiring land and what new builds look like. Currently, we have our elementary schools. They are built for about 850 kids. Our middle schools are built for about 1,200 kids, and our high schools, depending on the size, depending on the purpose, are built for about 2,100 kids. And so as we look at these numbers and as we plan development and look at where the building is happening, That's something that people don't see, that we work on continuously all year. And so every year we look and we compare and we see where the trends are. The trends right now for the high development of growth is right now down in Fairburn, over by Langston Hughes High School and parts of the Westlake District. And so as we go through, last year we redistricted in anticipation of some of that. Some of it has come to fruition, some of it is a little bit further out. But we are constantly monitoring that. One of the things that we've had to look at in other parts of the county and specifically South Fulton are these communities that are rent-only communities. Those are a bit different than your traditional homes. And while we don't have any in the Sandtown area, it's just something that we have been aware of and trying to track and make sure that we plan for those. We have our next board meeting, not next week, but the week after. And so when I meet with you guys in March, we'll have some more updates. The last thing I want to leave you with is we are looking at a policy. We're looking at a policy where we are changing how we do enrollments. Right now, you can be a school that has 2,100 kids, but you might have space in a program where we can add even more kids in there. We are looking at if a school is at 95% of their enrollment, we are not allowing any more kids to enroll in that school. That is because if you look at Westlake High School, if you are at 95% of your enrollment and we let more people enroll, there's not enough space for the kids who actually live in the zone. And so we are changing our policy around that to help make sure that we aren't rezoning, then letting people come back in through a program which beats the purpose of a rezoning. And so that's something that will go into effect this upcoming year. We have not adopted the policy yet, but we have been getting feedback from our constituents around that. And that's something that we've heard loud and clear. And so as we go through and we think about this policy will also deal with all the enrollments of all of our schools across the district, but it'll also look at transportation because as we grow, we know we need more buses and so all of those things that come with it. I've said a lot, so I'm going to pause to see if anybody has any questions and or concerns that I can help them with. And I see one of my Sandtown parents told me, yes, Sandtown Middle School is seeking guest speakers for Career Day on 2/27. So Ms. Deborah, I'll shoot you an email if people want to sign up. We would love to have you guys there.
Okay, thank you. I have a question. What's happening with the old Westlake?
So the old Westlake, we've gotten a couple of offers for people who want to buy it, but it's not something that we want to take out of our use, that land space. We could not have another school in it because it was decommissioned from the state. And so and it has asbestos. And so one of the things that the superintendent is looking at is at some point we will be hopefully tearing it down and building a facility for training. One of my concerns when people have come to us about buying the property is that it is very, very close to the current Westlake High School. And it's just not conducive to have something that close to students. And so what we're looking for in the next capital plan or so is for us to build a facility for us to train teachers, train staff. It would be one where we could have all of our staff there. And so right now, as we think about that, we're also trying to balance building these new schools, but that is what is on our plate for the current Westlake, for the old Westlake.
I like that idea.
It's a little bit too close. I've heard of some people's ideas of wanting, have a college there. I don't think that's a good idea with high school students right next door to it. And then we've also heard, well, we should use it and have other students in the building. You cannot, when you decommission a building, so when you build a new school, you use SPLOST, but you also get money from the state to build those schools. Once you decommission a school, you can't bring it back and use it as a building again. If they consider that cheating. But what we can do is tear it down because it is cheaper to build new. I know it sounds crazy. It's like a house, just use what you have. So we're exploring that. And I think that will help meet the needs of the school system and bring a little business as we train teachers to this side of town as we go from that. So that's something that we're thinking about.
Cool.
Any other questions and or concerns?
Yes, Ms. Warren. I know the Promise Career Institute is due to open in August, and my granddaughter's been accepted, and we are torn between leaving Westlake and going there. Now, I heard you say something, and I'm just want to clarify it.
Yes.
If she leaves Westlake and go to the Career Institute, and after a year decides she wants to come back to Westlake, is there going to be a challenge?
If she's zoned for that school, no.
She's on.
Yeah,
Is
she's
on.
on school. So that's one of the reasons we did 95%, is because while you want to let people into your programs, you have people who live in the community that you don't want the school to be overcrowded for. And so if you live in the zone, it won't be a problem. No, ma'am. And I forgot about the Promise Institute, which is our newest college and career high school. It'll be in downtown College Park. It is going to be gorgeous. Kids will graduate there with 2 AA degrees. They can take all kind. I don't have it in front of me, but I know, oh God, cybersecurity is one, but they have all these degrees that students can get for free. And so that is a school that a lot of kids have been accepted in and that we're really excited about.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Warren? All righty, as always, thank you very much
No
for all
problem.
the information. Seems like a lot of good things are happening.
We are, and I want to end this on one thing. As we go through and as we're thinking about the rest of this semester and kids are getting ready for graduations and all those fun things, as parents and as community members, check on our kids. Make sure they're okay, their mental health. Unfortunately, we've had a death in another school. And so we just want to make sure to parents that check on your kids, make sure they're okay. If you feel like something is wrong, if something's not right, please reach out to the school counselor. We have mental health counselors, we have regular counselors. It's important for us to check on them. That's all.
All righty, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Perlman, I saw you well, of course, you are on the call. You are up next.
I'm here. Thanks. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to everybody. I'm John Perlman. My company developed the Sandtown Crossing Shopping Center, and I've been working with several of you, especially Ms. Davis, Ms. Hudson, since like 2022. It's been 2002, sorry. It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. As you know, we opened the Publix in the fall of 2021. I built that through COVID, had a bunch of fights, getting that done, with people getting sick and just delays. But eventually we opened, and we have been coming along nicely with the local shop leasing. We had some turnover. We worked through some turnover with some of the tenants, and some of the tenants have gotten through their growing pains. I hope that everybody here is happily supporting our various tenants. They're all eager to see you and eager to be part of your lives. I think everyone's doing a good job. The service tenants are doing their best to get the food out. And we've had some good luck with the out parcel sales. Hank Aaron's company, 755, built the Popeyes. That was our first out parcel to open. Starbucks opened up this year, and they seem to consistently have nice sized lines out front. I was there Sunday afternoon, and it was wrapping the building. Chipotle opened late last year, and I have not had a chance to eat in there yet, but I've heard it's good, and we're excited about that. And we're continuing to talk with people about our remaining available parcels. I know that there are other people floating around, so the other corner with the daycare corner, that's got stuff going on. People are talking there. With the daycare center that exists now, it used to be called Legacy. I don't know what the name is now. Haven't heard much about the opposite corner of Camp Creek and Campbellton opposite us, but there's a huge amount of activity in our area. I think the citizens of Sandtown area have been a great support. They've kept the Publix busy. It's ranked number 9 in the state of Georgia. So it's a very
Wow.
popular store.
Wow, I went in there, I don't know what day it was this week, and I was like, oh my God, it was so many people. I mean, it was a hustle and bustle. It was
Yeah.
just packed. And
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
My wife and I dropped our daughter off at the airport around 2 on Sunday, and we went over there to look around, and she said she was going to run in and get a few things. She says, forget it. I'm going back to Sandy Springs where it's quiet. You know, this store near us has half as many cars in the parking lot. So, you know,
It's,
busy is
and
good.
then when those townhomes are finished and those apartments have completely rented out, I mean, you're gonna have an enormous amount of foot traffic in there.
Yes, no, our tenants are excited about the ability for people to walk over and walk in
Mhm.
easily.
Mhm.
You know, we know some people are walking, you know, a million years ago in the early zoning, people talked about walking on the sidewalks, and that's why we have sidewalks throughout the property. There's a gentleman named Fay Jones who I see walking there every morning. He's out walking
Yep.
with a stick.
Mhm.
And he is an asset to me. He was the first person to call. He called before my guards did to tell me I had a water leak. So
Mm.
he's terrific.
Great. Are there any new opportunities coming that you can share, or are you just waiting?
We've got nothing committed. You know, a lot of people have heard that we've been talking with AutoZone for a while about the front corner. We've got a few other people that are talking about some of the back corners, the pieces that we had talked a year ago about self-storage, and that didn't fly. And we have different tenants that are expressing an interest in being there. Primarily, I guess you call them auto service related, like Mavis Tire, Valvoline, other companies that would serve the residents of the community. And as far as office space goes, we don't have anybody new coming. We are building starting tomorrow, the office space that used to be occupied by the physical therapist that had the water tanks. She moved somewhere else. So we're going to have a 1,200 square foot office space available in a couple of months. Otherwise, you know, we're completely full with, you know, all of our shop spaces and office spaces are leased.
That's great. Great, great, great. Glad to hear it.
I have a question if I'm able to speak.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Kimmy Inegbidian. I'm actually a local real estate agent in the area with Compass. I do have a listing right in Sandtown. Matter of fact, it's a land listing of about 6 acres. So a couple of things, and just forgive me if I kind of jump around because I had a couple of things I wanted to ask and say. As far as the development and, you know, things coming to the city of South Fulton. Of course, we want to attract business. We want to attract different vendors. Where is Sandtown's position with what they'd like to see? And that's a 2-part question. Because I do work with investors, I do work with developers who've reached out specifically and are looking specifically in South Fulton, that have kind of been turned away. So I just want to make sure I'm doing my best, you know, in my business and when I'm speaking with other clients, that we're providing a city that's promoting, you know, equal opportunity as far as different types of business. And we're not just shutting down the idea of, hey, and this is just as an example, the public storage, you know, that it's a opportunity for everyone, you know, pretty much. And then also on the flip side of that, with the 6 acres that we do have in South Fulton, you know, we're right behind Publix. Matter of fact, we have about 500 feet of frontage on Camp Creek, and Publix is in front. And if we have no access to that, because that's literally a challenge too, we have no access to the property, you know, that's kind of just wasted space in the city. So I guess I'm asking, you know, what South Fulton, I mean, not South Fulton, Sandtown is actually looking for, you know, what would they like to see come to the city? And are we being as open to allowing those opportunities to come?
Well, we're open to, ideas. And what we have done over the years, uh, we started with Blueprint Sandtown many years ago and identified live, work, play nodes throughout Sandtown. Mr. Pearlman has a live, work, play node there, and we have been working hard to develop it according to Blueprint Sandtown. So if you have someone that is interested in uh, putting something in Sandtown, you are always welcome to come to the community and talk ideas. We ask that you get with our city council representative in the district. We're in districts 1 and district 2, and that's Councilman Rao and Councilman Gums, and began the dialogue there. And but we're very active. So if you do have someone that is interested, you can always reach out to me. What we try to do is, as a committee, as the Sandtown Community Association Committee, when someone comes to us, we try to look at what they're offering and see if it fits into the Blueprint Sandtown. We get our city council people involved, and we go from there. So we're open to ideas, but we do have a Sandtown blueprint that we've been following probably, John, for many, many years.
A long time, a long time.
Long time. And it has been tweaked and adjusted based on as we grow and the community grows and thrives. So we're pretty open.
Okay, thank you for that. Ms. Davis, do you have an email address or something, some way I can contact you if needed?
Debbie@sandtown.org.
Okay, that's DEBBIE.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just one thing I wanted to interject is regarding curb cuts on Camp Creek Parkway, GDOT's position, and that is a state road, is there will not be any, except I believe for a medical facility.
Except from where?
I said, except I believe for medical facilities. Other than that, GDOT's not permitting any new curb cuts. So the
Right,
proper-
exactly.
Okay.
Okay, I hadn't heard that as far as if it's a medical facility, so maybe that can be a loophole. I'm not sure.
That's my understanding. I haven't seen it in writing or anything, but I think it's worthwhile talking to them to
Right,
validate, to validate what I've heard.
right, because that'll just be unusable land, which is prime. That's prime real estate. It's a prime area.
You said the land was the land that your client has is behind the Publix?
Yeah, so if you're on Camp Creek facing, if you're on Camp Creek, the Publix is to our left.
Uh-huh.
Right, we're on Camp Creek though. So we have the frontage on Camp Creek.
Oh, okay. I got
it-
you right behind there.
Right,
Okay. So then that means you are in between because further down, so is the backside of your property on
Plumber.
what's Plummer Road, right?
Mhm.
Which is where the fire department is.
Not even the fire department. We're kind of landlocked because it's a Southeastern Trust, land and trust
Uh-huh.
that can't be disturbed. You can't, you can't do
Right.
anything. So I would need to have a conversation with Mr. Pearlman if, we can get an easement or access or some way the other way. But that's another conversation for another day. But it's just really more so, as far as Sandtown and what they like to see and the growth and development.
And your sign is still out there, right?
It is. Mhm.
Okay, so Debbie, you could see it from the street if you're on Camp Creek. You could see her sign. It's yellow and white.
Okay.
Is that the property that traverses Camp Creek? In other words, if you look at planning map, parts behind Publix and parts across the street.
Yes, because originally before they split Reynolds, before it was Camp Creek, it was just Reynolds. And so when they split it and put in Camp Creek, they just divided it into 2 parcels, correct?
Okay. All righty. Does anyone else have any other comments or questions? Well, again, feel free to reach out to us, to the association. And we'll get engaged and see what we can come up with. All righty. I had reached out to Cassius Edwards. I don't know if many of you remember, but he is the developer that's it's a retirement community that's going to be off of, well, next to Sandtown Center, off of isn't that Wallace Road? And they are moving forward. Let me tell you where they are on that development.
That's Reynolds and Westlake, Debbie.
Is Reynolds and Westlake?
Yeah, Reynolds and Westlake Parkway.
Okay. And that's right next to Sandtown Center.
Yes.
Right. Okay. It's exciting because we've had a lot of people they've been asking for retirement communities because folks around here, a lot of people want to downsize. And so what he said, just a short update, they are submitting the last 52 unit building and to the city of South Fulton in February, and hope to have those permits within 60 days after that. And once that is done, they are on schedule to begin construction on August the 24th. I'm sorry, August 2024. And let me see. He kind of gave me a breakdown.
Did he send a diagram of what he's?
He did, and we had it, and I apologize, y'all, but since I retired, I don't have it on this computer. But he sent a picture, and we had it some time ago at one of our meetings. And I will ask him to send it again. He is in San Diego, that's why he's not here. And I will ask him to send it again, but it is a retirement community. I don't know how many floors, but it's kind of like a high-rise type setup. And he is also the one that is the one over the retirement community over there by Greenbrier Mall, back across from the church back there where the old Magic Johnson's Theater is. That's his development as well. And but anyway, we should look for construction to start in August. And again, like I said, I will get him to send the updated drawings and everything, and we will share that at the next meeting. Does anybody have any other questions about that development?
Yeah, Debbie, there's quite a bit of homeowners from the Sandtown community on the call, and some of the issues or some of the concerns that we have, and I probably can't speak for everyone, but for what I do understand is, number one, the buffer between the development and the homes of Sandtown Center, we 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 need some buffer there. We just don't want all that space cleared. And secondly, the entrance off of Westlake Parkway into the community, entry, exit into the community or into the facility off of Westlake Parkway is kind of in a blind area, and that is a real concern for the elderly trying to come out to access Westlake Parkway to go to Camp Creek. It's in a curve coming downhill.
You mean from his development?
From his development, if you use Westlake and if you come out to Westlake Parkway, that intersection will be in a blind spot for those traveling on Westlake Parkway coming from Camp Creek into the community. They will be coming around a curve down a hill into that intersection. And I don't think that's conducive for either us or the people who will purchase in his development. So we really would like to talk to him about that to see what other options of working. We deal with traffic issues currently, especially as you come around that curve and down the hill and you approach our clubhouse. We have traffic that goes the wrong way to enter into the apartment complex, except for when the police is sitting at our clubhouse. Everybody drive the right way, but when they're not, it's already a problem. And if he adds on to it, it's just gonna make it worse. So as a community, we want to make sure that our partnership of his development and what we currently have works.
Okay.
There may
Well,
be
I
other
will.
concerns as well, but I know that those are two concerns that we have.
Looks like Brett put in there, can speed bumps be considered in addition to fencing for the Sandtown Villages community? Is that related to this project?
That's related. That's
Okay.
related. Speed bump on Westlake Parkway coming into the community to slow traffic down, as well as fencing to separate his development from the community.
Okay. What I will do, I'll make a note because I will I will reach out to him tomorrow and tell him, what you have concerns. And then we'll ask him to join the meeting next month. And you all can discuss some of these issues and concerns that you have. And I'm sure, I'm sure he will do everything he can to accommodate, but we just have to tell him.
Right. And
Have y'all been in any meetings with him or reached out to him in any way?
We have, but not lately. I think he just purchased the sale of the property just went through recently. However, we are open. The community is open to a Zoom call with Cassius, and we can take that away from our overall community meeting because we probably just gonna take up some time with the questions that we have. So we can either do it on this call, or if he wants to do a separate call with the community, Zoom call with the community, we're open to that as well.
Yeah. Well, what you can do to kind of prep him, if you can I'm looking at the chat, but someone just asked, when will the applications for new senior development become available? I'm assuming you mean to move in or whatever. I can ask him that question as well. But what I was going to say, Donald, if you wanted to kind of write up some of the issues that you have, summarize it, or however you want to write it up and give it to me, I'll certainly give it to him. And then he can kind of get prepared when he comes to the meeting next month to answer some of those questions.
Okay. Thanks, Deb.
Okay. Miss Britt, I saw your hand up. You have another question?
Oh yeah, I put it up and down. I just wanted to know if anyone could share why is it that most of the senior homes are like skyrise homes.
Well, we've gotten to answer that, we've gotten different people with different plans. We've had a group to come to us to have cottages off of Wallace Road. The last meeting that we had, or having several meetings with the people off of Wallace Road, they did not want that type of community over there. They didn't want the number of smaller homes that she was, it was called 55 and Wise. This particular one that's coming, the reason why it's elevated the way it is because of the topography of the land. And I wish I had the pictures. It's a really pretty development. I don't think it's more than 3 floors, but I just don't remember now. It's been a while since we worked on it. So that's high rise may not be the right description, but it's multi-level. But we've had another person to come to the community who also want to do cottages. And what we try to do, Ms. Britt, is, developers come, we try to get the community engaged, particularly the residents that are going to live next to or around the community, and to make sure that they are engaged and support bringing a new development near their community. And unfortunately, the one that we thought was a very good development, we had a lot of residents who were like ready to sign up and downsize and move in, but the residents off of Wallace Road didn't want it. And so, we have to, we have to engage the community, and we have to respect the desires of all the people in the community on what they want near where they live.
Okay, I was just curious about it. Thank you.
Ms. Brown, I see your hand up.
Yes, ma'am. I noticed that there's a lot of residential and building going on. My concern is towers, cell towers. My Wi-Fi is, and I'm on Stone Bay Drive right by the Villages, and now they're getting ready to put the high rise across the way, as well as apartments. You got the schools and all of that. Has there anybody considered talking to AT&T, Verizon about tower sales, more tower sales? I hear that we will be able to accommodate the population and the usage of computers and all of that. Have anybody talked to anyone about that? Every time I call AT&T, they always have, well, we don't have enough towers out there, or it's because of the trees and all this. So the building is fine and the improvement and all that, but if you're going to upgrade on one level, you need to upgrade on another. So the schools use a lot of cell towers because they use computers, but a lot of people work from home now, like myself. And I had to move from one room to another, and it still doesn't satisfy. So I'm just wondering, who do the builders or whomever need to talk to about accommodating that for residents?
Well, I'm going to ask Harvey to see if he can answer that question. Harvey, you want to chime in?
Yes, as I recall, AT&T had an interest in putting up another tower in Sandtown Park in the vicinity of the school, but that never came to fruition.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's the property owner that typically would go to the cell companies to offer their land for a tower. And a lot of times they are by the schools, just like in front of A. Philip Randolph. But it's not really the developer that would pursue that.
Would it be the a council person or whatever? Because it seems to me like if they're going to do all the building and it has to be, that should be a part of the contract. If you're going to build, then you need to add a tower because that means that more people are going to be using the cell towers or whatever. It's terrible out here. It is absolutely terrible. I
And
have to
some
go
of,
outside sometime to use the phone
so what you're saying is inside the house you have deficiencies.
and outside.
Some of it's the carrier, and again, the Wi-Fi is for inside the house, and that's a service that you
Right.
would purchase.
Someone put
Right,
in the
but
chat, they changed their equipment. Mr. Lee said he changed his equipment and he now has Comcast or Xfinity, and he said it's extremely better. So it
Yeah.
may be just a combination of things. I've been out here since 98 and I have Xfinity. I've been on Comcast Xfinity for the last 25 years. And I mean, I don't really have a lot of problem with mine. Um, and I'm not sure where you live. Uh, I'm thinking you live near me. I live in Regency Hills, so I think it's probably a combination of things, not just one thing.
Yeah, we're right here. Yeah, the villages of Sandtown, we're right across from where the high rise is going to be built. And that
Okay.
vacant property
Ye-
right there, where all those
Okay.
trees and all of that is right there.
Right.
And when it rains, it gets worse. So we've had Infinity, we've had Comcast, now we have AT&T. We're at the highest that we can go. When we call AT&T, they say that, it's not that many towers in your area. And I don't know. I'm not an electronic person or anything like that, but I know that that's something that maybe as a community, if it needs to be adjusted, that we need to advocate for, if at all possible,
Yeah.
because more and more people are moving and more people are using technology. And of course, we'll be using technology.
Yeah. Somebody asked in the chat, ask her when was the last time she upgraded her modem.
We have the highest, we did that, what, about a few months ago? We did that too. We tried everything. And I think everyone on this side here, where they get ready to put up the high rise, we have suffered when it comes to
Donald
having
lives
to,
in your community, I think, near
he lives
you.
on,
Donald, what are you having problems as well?
Hey, I have AT&T fiber. I don't have any issues.
Right. I keep hearing about the high rise coming, but the overlay prohibits a building over 4 stories.
Yeah, so I'm thinking this one it's only about, it's not going to be more than 4. I just can't remember how many floors it is. And so Donald, your response was you have 8. What do you have?
I have AT&T.
And she has AT&T.
Yeah. Do you
And
have?
y'all live in the same area.
yeah,
So we are. She's over near where the high rise, where the new project will be. I'm further into the community.
Okay.
yes.
Walking distance, but I'm further in, and I've heard there have been complaints before in that area of low bandwidth or no bandwidth.
Yeah, I'm close. I'm near her. I'm on Fernand,
Well,
and it's
just,
not that great.
just to be clear, you got cellular services, and then you've got your internet service and the Wi-Fi device that you have inside of your house, to distinguish it. So we can better understand what the issue is. Is it making phone calls?
Or,
Phone
or
calls situation. Like the phone calls do drop. The service isn't that great. I don't know if it has something to do with AT&T, but sometimes the
It's
cell phone doesn't work at all.
exactly. You miss phone
so
calls when people are calling in, the calls do not go through. You go outside, you may see where you had a missed call. We've had to even go outside because it's like, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. You go outside, on Stone, they drive and have to talk nearly in the street to someone in order to be able to hear them. And like I said, I've called AT&T. They don't seem to think that it is, we're at the max of everything with equipment and everything. But they don't seem to think it is them. They seem to think it is that something that the community needs to do. Like a tower, a cell tower, or whatever that it might need to help eliminate some of the I guess population of interaction that's going through. And you have children, that are using Wi-Fi and all that. It's a lot going on. I'm not an IT person to understand this, but I do understand that I have a lot of drop calls. I understand that, sometimes it just when it's raining, it's not good at all. I do it, like I say, I work from home. I was on here tonight and all of a sudden it just went out and then came back on. It's those type of.
right.
Well,
So
the
so
customers and the
regarding
residents have more leverage than we do. I mean, I would suggest that those in your subdivision that have issues with the carrier is in mass, make the case. And AT&T, I know, is slow to implement things. We just got fiber in my subdivision along New Hope Road a year ago.
And they
I
were
sus-
laying fiber along Boat Rock not too long ago. I think
but
that's what they were doing.
Right, but fiber's not going to help you with your phone calls.
Yeah.
There's internet service, data service, and then there's phone calls that you want to make. Now, back in the day, AT&T had a device. They probably charge for it now that they can put in your house where the device enables people to use voice over IP rather than their cell service to call. And that does improve the reception. But I would start talking to the carrier and complaining about your service. And if you get that in mass, perhaps that'll come. But at the end of the day, they make a commercial decision and cost benefit. And unfortunately, in this community, there are dead spots.
I, I'll add too that, for a temporary fix on your cell phone, you should be able to go into the settings and click a feature for Wi-Fi assist to your calls. Like I said, it's not the perfect solution, but that'll help a little bit too, because it'll run some of your calls off of Wi-Fi instead of the cell phone towers. If she say, like, I don't know what type of phone you have. I know on iPhone, it's like Wi-Fi assist for calls, because I've had to
Yeah.
use that when I travel for work.
Yeah, we have that. My computer just went out when you all was talking right there. It just went out and everything and just came back in, and it's those type of things are freezing and all that. And I'm just repeating what AT&T has said to me. And that is that they looked at on the map and said, in your location, you all need a tower. It's not enough towers in your community. So like I said, I'm not aware of it because I don't work for them or anything like that. All I know is I'm frustrated.
So regarding your computer, a tower doesn't matter. The next time you talk to AT&T, can you find out if you are still using coaxial or if you are on fiber?
We on Yeah, we're not on fiber. We're not on fiber yet.
I would strongly suggest that you move over to fiber.
Okay, I'll check into it.
Yep. That
And
may help.
You can check the availability a lot of times on the various carriers' website where you put in your address, which I did quite a while ago with AT&T. And once they ran the fiber, it was only about another month before that offering was available.
Yeah, I'll check into it. Thank you all.
Oh, sure, sure. Let's see. Well, is Councilman Rowell or Councilman Gums on the line?
Actually, they're en route to a council retreat, and
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Eads rather is on the call that's going to give an update on their behalf.
All righty, Brandon.
Hey, thank you, Harvey, and thank you, Ms. Debbie. Um, yes, like Harvey mentioned, the councilwomen are on the way to Greensboro, I believe, to participate in their council retreat. So of course they are working hard for our city, making significant changes during that meeting. So we will definitely be providing updates once they get back. But any updates that you guys particularly are looking for, I can provide that. Just real briefly, I can say that our economic development in District 2 is moving pretty strong. You guys are aware of the Westwood development. I think that
Yep.
they presented to you guys, I think last month or something like that. And
Yes.
that is going pretty strong. We haven't had any hiccups with that. They're moving along through the process with CDRA. We have more development that's actually coming, and we're looking forward to give you guys an update on that closer to the spring. So that's another exciting development that we can be looking forward to. We recently just demolished the Cliftondale Park, so they are going through the park's master plan. We will continue to have town hall centered around what will be going on with that park. And as you guys know, I'm pretty sure as you guys know, the Sandtown Park recently went through major renovations and recently opened up in December. I believe we have I think another development that will be coming online and Enon Road, next to Butner Road. I'm sorry, Butner Road. So it's a potential development that may be coming. We are continuing to meet with our ad hoc committee to source those through, but it's nothing that you guys wouldn't really need to be aware of at this point in time as it's going through the process. Councilwoman Gums has been steadfast, and I believe Councilwoman Rao has been steadfast with economic development. And as they said a few months ago, that over the next 5 to 10 years, it's not going to look the same for Sandtown or the Cliftondale cluster. So, any other updates that you guys would like to know specifically, I can definitely answer it. But those are the main hitters as we start off in January for 2024.
Yes, the Westwood development is a big deal in District 1. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm about to post a link to the council members page where you can also sign up for their newsletters. As a rule, we forward those to the people on our distribution, and therefore they would get it, but I encourage people to sign up directly. One thing that our treasurer Marilyn had asked us to talk about is it's January and it's time for folks to renew their dues. Financially, we're a little bit lower than we would like to be for the expenses we have, like renewing the corporation's Secretary of State's listing, paying for our website, as well as a number of different fees, but on our page, I will send a link to that. Sandtown.org is the basic page, and you're able to securely sign up to be a member through PayPal security infrastructure.
And with that, we want to welcome, we had someone to join last month. Let me get you his name. His name is Samuel Bell. And we want to welcome him. He's a new member. And when you go onto the website, you will see the different, the cost structure, $25 for an individual, $40 for a family, and $50 for a community. And we use that money for a host of things, for the calling posts, for the post office box, and like Harvey said, file for Secretary of State and all of that. So if you would like to join, feel free to do it. We enjoy having members. If you have any other questions about it, you feel free to ask.
And Ms. Deborah, my apologies. I did want to mention that Councilwoman Gums will be hosting her Senior Health Day at Sandtown Park on February 5th. This is a great opportunity for seniors to come out, get a healthy workout, and get healthy safety tips from our city police department, code enforcement, and fire department. And also, we'll have Deshaun, the guru of abs, Deshaun Johnson, out to provide workout routines. And this is something that Councilwoman Guns has been pushing for months now. And she really wants to harness in on this senior health due to our lack of services for senior center. And we will continue to
Somebody needs to mute their phone. We hear their television.
I'm muting them now.
Okay.
Okay. We will continue to promote this senior initiative, and as the months continue on, and we just want to make sure that the Sandtown community is taking part of this initiative. It's not just for District 2, especially since we'll be at Sandtown Park.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, Debbie,
Yes.
I had a elderly couple to join the call tonight. Is there an update on the sewer project?
On the sewer?
Yes.
Well, she's not on the call. I don't have an update. I will reach out to her to find out, but she was not able to be on the call, but I will make a note and
Debbie,
get that in. Go ahead.
are you talking about Juanita?
Yeah.
Right.
I do know that they did get the percentage. They needed like 51%
Uh-huh.
of the homeowners to approve. So she did get that. And my understanding is, I think it just has to go through a approval of the Fulton County, and the date is, I think, March of 2025 for them to start actually digging or doing whatever they do.
Oh, so it's going through the approval process, and she got the number of signatures, or
Yes.
51% from the residents. That's
Yes.
fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
That is fabulous. Mr. Bell, I'm sorry. Mr. Ball, I called you Mr. Bell. I apologize. You are Samuel Ball, the new member. Let me make sure. I got it right on my computer, but I said the wrong thing. But Mr. Samuel Ball. But well, that's great about the sewer. I'm excited about that. She's worked very hard on that project. Donald, do you know what questions the couple had? They just wanted an update.
Yes. Miss Marilyn, you on the call? Do you have any questions regarding the sewer project, Ms. Fairley? She may not want to talk, but
Okay. Well, if she
Probably.
has any other questions, let me know, or we'll reach out to Juanita. Hopefully she'll be on the call next month.
okay.
Stephanie, do you have anything else to add? Any updates you have, or?
About the community,
Uh-huh.
no, not right now, but
Okay.
hopefully, things will be picking up this year.
Yep. Yep. I'm excited. We got a lot of things happening. Well, with
Yeah.
that, we'll go round robin. If anyone else has any other questions, you feel free to raise your hand and we'll try to recognize you. And if not, we will end the February meeting. And we look forward to being with you all in March. And thank you, John, for joining us. And you all
If
have
I
a
could
great
just-
evening.
If
Go
I
ahead.
could just say something, I've been raising my hand a couple of times. The cell service in South Fulton stinks. The area has grown so fast, the towers are overwhelmed. I've talked to Commissioner Rowell about it, not gotten far with any of her connections. I think maybe if everyone started dropping notes on R.D. Jones's desk at the city of South Fulton, he's in charge of economic development, that might get something going. Because we definitely need more cell phone service. It's no good for calls to get dropped. It's not safe. It's just not a good situation. And obviously, as a developer, I've got land that could go on, but historically, the cell phone companies like to go on school properties. And you've got Westlake backing up to Camp Creek Parkway. You've got Sandtown schools near Camp Creek Parkway, and those would be great spots. And then they generate revenue for the school system. So it's a win-win situation. So I think everybody just needs to advocate more for more cell phone service.
I agree.
So do we contact the cell phone companies directly? We get like some BP name and.
They
Like letters
generally
to
work
them?
through cell tower companies. And
Okay.
I put in information requests to them and applications, and it just disappears. And they have their own process. But I'd like to think that someone like R.D. Jones might get some action. Or Miss Warren might get some action. Because the schools do benefit from the cell towers.
I was thinking that too. If Miss Warren, are you still on the call? She may be gone.
No, she left a long time ago.
Okay. I will reach out to her and talk to her about it. Maybe that's something we can do, like you said, at the schools and generate revenue. Somebody asked, what time is the health fair? That's on February 5th?
Yes, certainly. The health fair will begin at 9:30 a.m. and it'll last until 11 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Well, with that, if we don't have any other questions or any other comments, you all have a wonderful evening and we'll see you next month.
All right. Thank you. Have a
Uh-oh.
good day.
Take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye for
Good
now.
night. Good night.